everybody, and welcome to a very soggy Sochi. Oh, no, not Sochi, Japan, sorry. That's where we were a few weeks ago, last week actually. We're in a soggy Japan for round number 17 for the Japanese Grand Prix. Track is 5.8 kilometers, 3.6 miles. First held in 1963. Historically, it's been one of the last races of the season. Been the title decider for 13 occasions. And it's not going to be decided for a while, this title decider, but this should be a very interesting track. This is ILR3 on Xbox. I am Jess, and joining me, as per usual, is Jack. Good evening.
Hey, sorry for squeaking a bit there on your intro, but I'm just watching Dark Phoenix. By the looks of it, he's got a dry setup on, because he has been sliding is a bit of an understatement. He just went straight on at the hairpin. And you almost spun it going through spoon as well. As you go, do 130 just. But first out, I don't think those inters are going to be up to much at the moment. I think that may be a reason why he's sliding about.
Yeah, that's probably why. And they probably weren't expecting, right? And Zanardi's pitted to wet, so it is starting to get very worse. And I was looking at the Twitter chat earlier on. And just a few minutes ago, and they were putting GIFs saying it might rain, and they probably might have jinxed it a little bit, so don't count your chickens before they're hatched. So far going into the last few rounds of the season, we've got 5 rounds left. Steerage is 58 points clear of Hamilton, or it's ILRT series now, not APS, my bad. So, and we've got around about 125 points left to play with. So, basically, it's between Steerage, Hamilton, and Dumbunder, the championship. No one else can win the championship now. It's basically between the top 3. To see how they can do. Actually, no, Dumbunder can't do it. Oh, and Dark Phoenix has just slid. Don't know what happened there. It looked like it was spoons again. But yeah, it's pretty much a two-way battle for the championship now between Steerage and Hamilton. Only these two can win it now, and since it's going to be wet tyres for the qualifying, they get free tyre choice of the race, and it's probably going to be a relief for some, because it's another track where they could get caught out in tyre temperatures, especially the S section. I've seen a few people get caught out yesterday in ILR4, so hopefully these guys won't get caught out today, but we'll have to find out.
Unfortunately, it is probably more of an advantage for wheel users, even more an advantage now because of the rain. So I've got ILRT Jason, who is on the pad, is doing a pretty solid job. Dark Phoenix, who's also on the pad, is sliding about quite a bit, so he's going to have to do a few laps before he can hook it up properly. He's going to go again immediately. Obviously, they are on the inters, so you can do a few laps on them before you have to come back in. It just really depends on what your fuel is like. It's actually probably better to SSR Andrew sets the fastest lap, followed by ILRT Steerage pretty much straight after, 5/10 quicker. So it's pretty much who's going to set the lap last, because this track is going to be getting better and better and better with cars running over it constantly and getting that dry line more and more established. I'm not too sure what the weather's like for the race, but normally you get one and not the other. It's very rare you get both in the rain. So I would have thought it was dry.
Yeah, I have a feeling it would be dry because you don't usually get those types of situations, but you never know, the weather gods might speak and bring some rain somehow, but it's highly unlikely. We've already seen yellow flags flying about everywhere in Sector 2, so they are struggling just a little bit, but they are keeping it together, which is nice. Only 15 drivers tonight, but we've still got a decent turnout anyway, as all blazing says were tired. Didn't quite see where
I think that might have been a crash, because there's yellows in Sector 3 at the same time. Infinity's in the gravel.
Right, yeah, a lot of people. Oh, and yep, he is. That I wonder where that was. I think that was just yeah, it was just after Spoons.
Boom.
Yeah, that he got caught up. So yeah, we do have one new driver tonight. I think he's reserved or full time. I don't know, but we have one. Actually,
oh my! What? Yellows in all 3 sectors.
Wow.
I can't really see anything out of the blue, so I'm not too sure what that was about. It might have been just been a glitch. Ignore me.
Yeah, we do have one new full-time driver in the form of Unity Gilbert. What a name! I absolutely love that name, to be honest. he's joined us for the rest of the season in the Red Bull. So I wonder if he's going to make a good impression today. He's on his first out lap now. Only 5 or 6 people not set a lap time. I think the conditions are getting a bit better now, but it might be worse, I don't know. Dark Phoenix is just saying, oh no, thank you. I'm not setting any more lap times.
Affinity's gone on the grass.
I won't be surprised if he retires soon.
I see where Phoenix's car is. He's on the left-hander up the hill just after the first corner.
I do see
I think he might have just got on the curb and then straight into the wall. I also saw Titan Prime had spun around on the S's, so a lot of people haven't taken off that high ballast for their dry running. That's why we're seeing so much spinning at the moment, and I don't think a lot of drivers have done a lot of wet practice because, well, you tend not to because you never really think about it.
Yeah, you do.
A lot of people really going for it though.
You do expect to be raining, but no, you do expect to be dry, and it's probably the best time to excuse me, practice for wet, like just one night a week or something. Because you never know, it could rain in a race or rain in qualifying, and that will set up for good stead. That is probably why the top 3 are pretty much so far ahead of everybody else, and also top 4 actually, separated by around about 7 or 8 tenths. But Hamilton's lead better than anyone else at the moment. Time Prime's just gone into the pit, so another struggle. I think he's got his lap time invalidated. Yeah, JJ Wells is going on the wet. I think Zanardi, I wonder how he's going to do on those Sev tyres. I think if he's going to get worse, if the conditions are going to get worse, then I strongly recommend these guys go out now.
ILRT steerage doing a bit of a full opposite lock through turn 1 and 2. I think his back end just got a bit excited. That might be because rear brake bias. Rear brake bias is actually probably more dangerous than having a high ballast, because high ballast you can sort of anticipate it and sort of control it through the lap as you please. But brake bias, if you lock one of the rear brakes or even both rear brakes in the wet, then the loss of grip is so sudden that you haven't really got that much chance of saving it.
And even if you do have a save, then it will probably be the most remarkable save that I've seen in a long time, if it does happen. So, yes. So, I think I remember that it was raining in 1989 as well, when Prost and Senna had a famous battle and collided into each other, and yeah, we've seen a few controversies in Japan, and but we've also seen some good races as well. I think there was a few races in Fiji as well, so it hasn't just been at Suzuka, it's been at Fiji as well.
Fiji? That's an island. Fuji.
No, Fuji. Why did I say Fiji? Oh my god, I need to get my words properly tonight, I've got to say, but Fuji anyway. But I think my favourite track in Japan will be after Suzuka, so I'm glad it's there today. And Atlantis is going on his out lap, he's staying on the 7-inch tyres. So I wonder, I think Zanardi's probably going to give it a gamble on those tyres. Wow! Hamilton 140.9 on those 7-inches.
So it's getting better then?
It is getting better.
Definitely. The time 8 tenths quicker than anyone else is definitely got to be getting better.
It's still raining quite hard though, but probably the track is rubbing up a bit more, so that's why some of these guys can afford to stay out for a bit longer, because they'll have less fuel and stuff like that. Oh, we got more yellow flags in both sets of one. Andrew.
He's gone off at Dunlop.
I do watch out for Dunlop, Jack, for the rest of the race actually, because that's where another corner people could get caught out, as he's slowing right down. He's got to be careful not to hit anybody else on their lap. That's probably going to hinder people and not help. But I didn't see what the yellow flag in sector 1 was, but I don't know. Still, she's going up for another lap.
I think getting what classified the 2 yellow flags for 1 incident, because Dunlop is on the brink between the 2. So I think that was only 1 incident.
Yeah. I think it could be just people slowing down as well, but I just don't know. But It is quite windy, I feel like, because the rain is just blowing as well, so it just makes it conditions even more difficult. Especially, I think, 130R and that really tight curve as well, because that's another tight S section. And JJ Rock's still not set a lap time, I don't believe. Titan Prime is still in the pits. Hamilton's gone into the pits, they're going to probably set one more lap time. Oh, Unity Gilbert though in 5th place, not bad time for him. He's running out of fuel though.
JJ finishes lap now, I think. 8th. And he is on wets as well, so wets aren't not too much difference between inters and wets at the moment.
No, so it could change, you never know. And a few drivers saying, yep, it's a bit dodgy out there in the wets, and some of them not sure what to do next, to be honest, in terms of chat and what they're going to do with tyres. So it is changing pretty much all the time, and I think if someone was having a dry setup earlier on, they'll probably think it is going to be a dry race, because otherwise why would they have a dry setup otherwise? Because you can't have 2 setups, so this could all change more than it can, to be honest. And this, to be honest, Japan has the greatest place in my heart. It was where I commentated on my first ILR race on Xbox on that same tier, so should be fun, and we should see some great battles. And Sturge is going on a lap now, I believe. Yes, he is going through the first couple of corners.
JJ Rock's going to have to run out because he did just go through the hairpin on the racing line, and he hasn't got any fuel in his car left.
No.
So he's going to have to be careful himself racing line. Dun Thunder goes through. Dun Thunder actually in P4 at the moment, so he's doing very well. That's Atlantis in the wall, going up through the S's, the second left-hander. JJ Rocks is slowing down a little bit. Oh, he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel. He's dropping down. He's on the racing line though. He's going to have to move because people are going to come through. Yeah, he goes on to the runoff, which is tarmac, so he's not going to damage his car by going on the gravel or the grass in any way. He's going to be careful when he pulls back on.
I think he has to retire.
Let's see if Titan Prime was on a lap. Yeah, no, Titan Prime was not on a lap.
Yeah, JJ Rocks has to retire because he'll pull off the other side of the track. He's just not going to help people going on a lap and want to set a fast one. Because you never know. Yeah,
I think he's just trying to get to the pits. Because if he gets to the pits, he hasn't got that far to go. He's only got the really short third sector. Third sector only consists of 4 corners, and they're all only about 500 meters long. I'm pretty sure. He has got time enough to put a set of inters on and then dash for another lap, but it's going to be tight for him.
It's going to be tight for anyone to get their last laps in, as yellow flags are going everywhere, pretty much every lap for some of these guys. So they just got to know when to go at the right time. And I think probably your top 3 have done that. I was speaking to Jason earlier on, actually, a few moments ago.
Steerage.
Steerage. So that he improved by 90 thousandths, I believe, to APS Hamilton. Anyway, I was speaking to Jason. He was not feeling very confident at all regarding the track. He did message me, and he's not expecting to be at the front battling for the win today, and his pace was looking quite, he wasn't really that impressed with his pace, but he's still quite good on his good lap, so you never know, he could surprise us and get a potential pole lap, but sometimes they need to get a bit more confidence, which I think that's what these 2 guys are doing at the top. Those why they're the championship contenders. So Nardi felt like the wets are not good for him, so that is why he's going on instead inters.
So I think we've got a bit of a qualifying battle between Hamilton and Steerage at the moment.
Yes.
Because the 2 are really close. Steerage must have had a monster lap because he improved on about a second on his old lap. So he's really on it at the moment. Ooh, he's drifting too spoon. I don't think he's going to improve that much on this lap, but I think he's going to have 1 more attempt left.
Yes, and Hamilton might get a few.
Oh, Andrew's round. I think he's hit the wall going into the first Degner because I do see a bit of carbon fibre on the track.
That was in the start of sector 2 actually.
Yeah, he's lost the big majority of the front right side of his front wing.
Yes,
Steerage
gone
even
fast
faster.
Again. He improved by
Despite what
3
I say, he's
tenths.
still Hamilton.
Wow,
I
this
saw
could...
these times are going to start tumbling. So this is their last attempt now.
I'm not really that surprised, to be honest, with these two. They are the two title battlists at the moment, but Steerage is in the lead at the moment in the championship. Hamilton's right where he needs to be at the moment to keep this fight going longer, to be honest. And I think the title could be pretty much decided in Mexico or Brazil or Abu Dhabi, I think, because obviously they can't be decided now. Because obviously
Jason just started his last lap as well.
Yeah, watch out for him. He did improve. This last lap he did improve by 33,000, so he is improving on his lap time ever so slightly. And he's still on high ERS
But at the moment, I think we've got Hamilton and Steerage, and then Jason Dun Thunder. So 1v2 and then 3v4.
Basically the top 4 in the championship.
Pretty much, yeah.
So,
Sector 1.
Dome Thunder's looking...
Zanardi's round.
Zanardi... Oh.
Just the right-hander before Dunlop.
That is Ty and Andrew's retired. Is Zanardi going to... No, he's not going to get another lap in. I would rather retire. Because it's not going to be a fast one. I don't think he's going to improve. By looks of things. Leper is not going to settle
Steerage is going to come around the last corner now. It's going to have to be an improvement because he is second at the moment. Is he going to be on pole?
Ooh,
And it's no, he's not going to be on pole today. What's Hamilton going to do? He's not going to bother.
He saw that
I think
Steerage
he knows
did
that
improve.
Gun Thunder and ADOS have just gone quicker than Jason, by the way.
Wow.
Jason down to P5.
Dumb Thunder's still on another lap though. Oh, he's running out of fuel, so he won't be improving on his lap time. ADOS, he's 1/10 better than his best in sector 1, so he has improved in sector 1. It didn't.
Jason's coming through the last chicane. The casino triangle. Is it casino triangle? Never mind. Anyway, he goes over through the last corner, gets on the power nicely over the little bump that unsettles a lot of people.
No,
over the line.
He
Back
improved
to
by
P3.
6 attempts. He improved by 6 attempts, so not enough to get pole. Oh my word! Atlantis has just had a massive shunt into the wall. So he's not going to improve on his lap time. Dumb Thunder's in the gravel. He's not going to improve. I think it's all on ADOS, Jack, isn't it? I think no one else could beat him. Maybe JJ Rocks, but I don't know how fast he is on his lap time. He's going through. ADOS is going about to approach 130R.
Oh, ADOS is really on one.
He's on a long one, and the yellow flag is set to 3, but that's probably not going to affect him. He's just passed the yellow flag. It's very tight. Oh, it's really fast. Is he going to set pole? Probably not.
Fourth.
He's fourth. He improves by 5. He improves by 5 tenths.
Oh my God! Look at P3 and P4, P5. Look how close the times are.
Jeez! Holy moly! Hold on. Let me look at the leader. 98,000 steerage. Jason 6. What the? 1,000 quicker. ADOS is Dumb Thunder. Holy moly!
7,000 is between P3, P4, and P5. That's, I think, as close as we're going to get it.
Yeah. Props to the top 5 for making it competitive. And holy moly, if this is like this at qualifying, boy, we're going to be in for a very good race, I got to say. As I'm trying to see. I think Dumb Thunder is about to cross the final few corners now. He's not going to improve, but he's the last one to cross the line and go into the pits. And yeah, he's still hanging in there. He just, yeah, he crossed the line, and there we go. We have your pole sitter once again. One of the boys who is quoted for the championship, and Hamilton's really got to get a good result tonight if he wants to beat Steerage, and he's already done that. He's improved by 99,000 Steerage in P2. Jason ADOS P3, P4, P5. That's amazing how close they are. And Gilbert in P6 with Atlantis in P7, JJ Rocks in P8, Andrew in P9, and Dark Phoenix rounding up your top 10 on the inters. A fast lap for JJ Rocks on those wets. Very good. We got Titan, AJH, Zanardi, Leper and Slender not to set a lap time here today. I'm very excited. A few drivers are already shocked about the 7,000 between 3 cars. Crazy, I know. But it's going to be a good race. I can feel it. And it's going to be dry, I think. I reckon. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it's sunny as well. So, what a contrast here today. Really wet qualifying to a really dry and sunny race. It's going to be hot.
So at least see some cars bouncing away on the grid there. What on earth is that?
That's a Red Bull and a Haas bouncing like they're on a trampoline. I'm not even kidding, Jack. They're just like, they're bouncing like bounce, bounce, bounce. Anyway, we are waiting for the drivers to ready up. Obviously, they're going to take a while because they have a free choice of tyres throughout the grid. And they don't usually have that luxury. I think they had that luxury a few races ago in Belgium. But they also get it here in Japan. I wonder what the tyres we do have on offer today because we didn't get a chance to go through it due to the wet conditions. They're on the super softs, softs and the mediums. So probably most people would want to go on the softs because the super softs last around about lap 6 or lap 7. So let's just find out what tyres everyone has gone on. Let's just see. Yeah, no one has gone on them super softs. It's just softs and mediums. So wise move from everyone, I must say. But that's what wet qualifying does for you. Is a top 10 are all on the softs with Titan, Prime, Zanardi and Leper on the mediums and AJH and Blazing Slender.
I wouldn't have thought anyone would have gone on them. No one's on super softs.
Yeah, I did say.
Because if you go on the super softs, that's pretty much a mandatory 2-stop.
Yeah, I think that's probably why. I did see a few guys go on a 2-stop in ILR4 yesterday. So I think
there's only 2 tracks where the 2-stop is quicker, and that's Hungary and Kota. And this is Suzuka, so that doesn't count for here.
No,
but at least in F1 2019.
Kota's next week, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. At least with F1 2019 and them trying to use the softer compounds as often as possible, we should see a bit more variation strategy, maybe going to 2-3 stops. And maybe we'll see things like the even ultra soft compounds being used around things like Silverstone, maybe.
Yes.
Of course, we won't know because everything's just soft, medium, hard, red, yellow, white next year. But underneath, they are different compounds, even though they're still
like
the same.
C5 or something, or C3 or whatever. I still don't understand.
They're only using that method for testing, so people can see what tyres they're using because they've opened up all I think they've opened up all compounds that they're using. So I think they've gotten rid of 2 altogether. I think they got rid of the hard and the super hard.
So they got rid of the light blue? Oh.
Yeah, because nowadays you're just going to have red, yellow, white
oh my
all
word.
Grand Prix.
Steerage almost hit into the back of Hamilton. Yeah, they did.
He did.
All 3 of them got disqualified. So they're all on the
I think
grid.
what Hamilton was trying to do is Hamilton was trying to back up the grid, so he was staying there for as little time as possible, so his car wouldn't lose too much temperature. But he's going to be sitting there even longer now.
And their tyres are probably not going to be up to temperature as much as the other guys. So watch out for Ados and Dumb Thunder, especially Dumb Thunder. He got a very good result last week, so he's looking to back that up this week. As Blazing Slender is the last person to go in the line. We have got 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights here in Suzuka. And it is away we go here in Japan, and Hamilton's off to a good start, but steerage alongside, we got the Red Bull of Unity, Gilbert trying to make a move as well. Jason managing to hold on to 3rd, Gilbert gaining up into 4th, Ados losing position already. We already have people off in turn number 1, but very clean so far in terms of damage, but Zanardi has dropped it already, and some of the guys back up as well, but already so far, ABS Hamilton leading, steerage 2nd, Jason in 3rd. We have a yellow flag. Oh, that's Titan Prime that's just hit the wall. I think that was the same thing that happened with Jordan Lacey back in '96. That was the same corner that he hit there. So he's probably going to have to pit, and he started on the medium, so he's probably going to have to use another set of mediums at this rate. Oh, and Jason! That was a save though. He probably would have had to wait, but he dropped it way down. He did say it wasn't his strongest track, but he wasn't wrong. And so we got our top two, and Hamilton still manages to retain the lead from steerage. But we got Andrew right at the back of Atlantis. He's going to make sure what he does here. Going past Smooth at the moment. AJ not that far behind. We've got a train forming for pretty much 7th, I believe, or 8th. As Atlantis tries to get
yellow substitute.
That's Leper, I think.
I have no idea what that was.
I don't know.
Anyway, carry on.
But we're already seeing some trains forming for the midfield especially, which is quite good to see. And Dark Phoenix is closing up to Dump Thunder as well, as Dump Thunder I think has got the move on him, so that's a good move. But look at Dark Phoenix trying to catch up. We've got Atlantis and AJ side by side going through to turn 1. Can Atlantis cover it up? No, he can't. AJ up into P8 right now. Oh my word, he's out. They collided. AJ is out. Atlantis still got the front wing. Holy moly. And Andrew's out as well.
Oh, Andrew's out as well.
Oh my word. Carnage already.
A bit of a
Suzuka.
Yeah. Bit of a contrast to the first and second lap. Because on the first lap, they were all pretty clean. No one run into each other, which is very unusual for Suzuka. But on the second lap, everything seems to have kicked off already. Still yellows in Sector 1, so they haven't cleared that car away.
No.
I just want to see where Andrew's car was.
I don't know.
There's the Sauber. I'm not sure where Andrew's car is.
Let me follow Titan.
Just going up along board with Blazing Slender. I can't see it anywhere, so they must have already cleared it.
Yeah, they must have. Otherwise, there would have been a safety car. So, hey ho on that one. So only a few cars got collided into that, but you can't really go 3 wide or 4 wide at some corners. But if you were watching ILR3 yesterday, where Cliffy was commentating, it was a full-wide bow in the start-finish straight, and I was quite surprised.
That's mental.
That was absolutely mental. It was great to watch on Twitter as well. Someone's POV when they were tired and stuff. Oh my god, that was absolutely crazy. So, it is going to your point of the race, Jag. I actually remembered your Supercharge award.
Yeah, that goes to Zanardi. I remember this time. Up 5 from P13. Is that P13? Yeah, P13.
Let me just look at the...
Phoenix and Affinity are also close, up 4.
Oh, Atlantis, 5-second stop go, speeding in the pit lane.
Oof. So I think he might have had, that's him repairing the wing damage that he had with AJH. I think the Dark Phoenix just squeezed him a bit too much on the curb, and they hit front against rear wheels, and they just both slewed around and hit a wall.
That's probably
I'd say if it was probably more Atlantis' fault than AJH's fault, but still it was more of a racing incident than anything. I think they were just trying to outdo each other a bit too hard, and they just sort of collided each other and gone off the racetrack.
And they both had nowhere to go. It is a tricky section to overtake, so it is really not that surprising.
Turn 1 and Turn 2 is quite a risky place anyway. If you're going to do an overtake, you've got to make it, well, you've got to finish it before Turn 1 or during Turn 1. If you're still side by side in Turn 2, the wisest thing for you to do is for one of you to back out of it. Steerage now sits fast lap. He's right behind Hamilton. He's got DRS, but he's not running high battery mode. I don't think he's going to have a run into Turn 1 at the moment. He actually dummies Hamilton a bit there to saying that I am here. I'm probably going to do a move on you soon. They're both on the soft tyre, so I think it's just setup difference that is going to give one or the other a bit of an advantage. Hamilton seems quicker on the straights, steerage seems quicker in the corners, so I think a bit more stability on steerage's side.
Probably the choices that have probably benefited steerage as he's trying to close in on Semi. He'll get another chance of the DRS straight coming up soon as well. What are the DRS straights in Suzuka? Because we didn't see them.
There's only one, and that's the main straight.
That's start-finish straight. So all they have to rely on really for most of the race is slipstream on the straight. So very careful between these guys.
Going back to that 4 wide moment that he had in ILR3 yesterday, That was all yellow in sector 2. What's that for? Oh, JJ Rocks has hit the wall. Out of Degner 2.
Oh my word. A lot of people getting caught out there. Potentially going towards Spoons. And JJ Rocks is out. He's out of the race. And I think I'm not going to call where he got it, but he must have hit another wall. And it was out. So, unfortunate for JJ Rocks. So far we got 3 retirements of this Grand Prix. And we could expect, I think, the soft runners to appear around about laps 10 to 12. I'm just following Blazing Slender to see if I can catch. Oh, I think we do have another yellow flag.
Atlantis is round at Dunlop. He's going to have to get out of the way before the leaders get through.
Yeah, we don't want another collision at Atlantis. And, yeah, AGH is not happy with what happened earlier on. And Atlantis seems to be struggling of all levels, to be honest, on this track. Which is not like him, because he's usually good in Suzuka, but it may be tire temp. Tire temper wasn't on last year, but it obviously is this year, a new feature to the game. And I don't think 3 and 4 are closing in that much. Unity is still quite comfortably in P3 with ADOS in P4. Darfinish is getting a time penalty, so I think one of the first time penalties of the session. I think someone got one for speeding in the pit lane. That was Atlantis earlier on. So quite intense battles up front, and also for midfield, Dumb Thunder could try and close in on ADOS in the next couple of laps as well as Leper and Titan Prime. I think those are the only battles going on at the moment. I think the rest are quite further back to even make moves. So it's going to be interesting at this point in terms of strategy as well as to when these guys are going to pit as well.
Good on board with Hamilton and Steerage tonight. Hamilton always seems to get the better exit out of the last corner, and that's why Steerage hasn't really been able to put a move on him then. And he's also got the superior straight line speed, so every now and again, Steerage just sort of gets left in the dust when it gets to the straight, and that's why he's still behind him. And Atlantis is out, VSC.
A virtual safety car.
That one's near the pits at the moment, so I'm not really expecting any boxes.
No, and usually I know from experience, virtual safety cars do not last very long, so...
They normally last about half a lap, I would have thought. Maybe even, if that.
Yeah. So,
I think...
Well, that was a bit of a slide from a lock-up from Steerage there. He was trying to overtake, but obviously due to the virtual safety car... Oh, now it's back. That's allowed Steerage to close in a bit more, but he's not found the pace that he needs. Oh my word.
Hamilton got a really good getaway then.
Yes, he did. And another collision in sector 1, I think it was, but it was just someone probably slowing down and speeding up after the virtual safety car. And yeah, Hamilton definitely did get a good start, as Steerage is now almost a second behind Hamilton now. So that is good from these boys. They do race together in other leagues as well. And wanting to go in Tier 2 next season, which is probably not that far off, to be honest, in terms of goals.
ADOS gets a time penalty. That's going to allow Dun Thunder, who's about, well, very close behind him, I'll say that. I think he might actually get a run, because I think ADOS is starting to slide a bit on those softs. He's trying to get away from Dun Thunder as much as he can, but he just hasn't really got the grip. He doesn't defend from the Renault too much, and Dun Thunder's fairly... I thought that was going to be fairly textbook, but no, he manages to hang it back around the outside. That's a great bit of defending from ADOS there.
That's pretty good from ADOS, actually, as he holds on. Just shows how good of a better of a racer that he's come to be. But Dome Fun is probably going to be thinking in his head, I want that position and I want it now. So he's got to do it pretty much thick and fast if he wants to...
I think ILRT Jason has made another mistake somewhere, because Zanardi is now past him.
Oh, let me go on board with Jason, actually. Let's look at any damage that he's got. Doesn't look like it at the moment.
I don't think he's got any wing damage. I think he might have just had a bit of a Larry moment again, like he did on the second lap, where he went straight on at the hairpin.
I think his tyre temperatures are really hot. I think that's what it is. He did say tyre temperatures are a thing on a pad, and like he said earlier, it is that Japan is more suited to a wheel than a pad by a country mile. I have tried Japan on the pad before. Most of them I've ended up retiring or at the back of the grid. So, yeah, it is not an easy feat for Jason to get up there, but he's doing all he can. And Zanardi could get some good points if he stays as he is. Steerage found some more time in that few couple of sectors to Hamilton.
Christ! Steerage does not like his 8th gear. He really wrung it out in 7th gear then and just didn't shift up at all. It was like he just shunted it in neutral from 200 miles an hour. I just would have shifted that up into 8th because that is not going to do his engine temps very good.
Yeah, it's not going to if you want to make your engine last for a long time. And also fuel, that could be a factor as well. They could affect the fuel, because the more revs you use, the more fuel you use. That's what it is in real life. Another look up from steerage there, although slightly, not a lot though. But again, these two are running no assist. I think they're the only two to have no assist at all. They didn't even have racing line for these two. That's how competitive these two are. And Unity Gilbert is doing quite well as well. And gained 3 positions as well. Blazing Slender's gained 6. So is Zanardi as well. So they're the 3 big hitters, well, big gainers, as well as Dark Phoenix as well. I think the only one that's dropped it a bit is Jason. And everyone else has either maintained or gained positions that are racing right now. Steerage is going through 130ER. I think Hamilton's already pulled away quite nicely. But yeah, Steerage has got a lot more speed on the corners than Hamilton. As he's found a little bit more.
And then Hamilton just pulls away again. That was a bit of a slide. If he is a bit closer here, I wouldn't be surprised if he does try and sell Hamilton another dummy. I don't think he'll get closer. I think this might be an overtake for the pit stops, maybe. Because every now he brings the 7th gear out so much that you actually see the car jolt when it stops accelerating on the straight, and he's not gaining any more speed.
That's what I think sometimes. Like, they just usually don't gain that much speed in some of these corners with Hamilton, but he just already pulls away in the straight. That's probably why after the virtual safety
car, Dun Thunder's past ADOS.
So they're side by side again.
Dun Thunder's sliding about all over the place, so I wouldn't be surprised if ADOS gets it back through Dunlop. Oh, he gets a bit on the grass, and Dun Thunder takes it back.
ADOS sliding.
ADOS gets in the gravel.
So that's allowed Dun Thunder comfortably past in P4, and ADOS is going to have another chance pretty soon as well. Leopard's got his way past Blazing Slender, or the other way around. So that's another move done as well then. So it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts in the chat, who you think is going to do well for the rest of the race. And make your predictions. When is the title going to be won on the final few races? Just let us know. Because it's not going to be one here, and it's not going to be one at Kota, but it probably is going to be one from at least Mexico onwards. So from Mexico, steerage could take the title, but it'll be up to Hamilton to stop.
I think the person who's having the most boring race at the moment is our new guy, Unity Gilbert, who's in P3 and in a bit of a world of his own at the moment.
He's gaining a lot of pace now. He's 4 tenths now behind, in front of Dun Thunder. He's still not doing enough to catch up to the Hamilton and steerage. Gilbert is clearly the best of the rest at the moment. He's making a very good impression for his first race in ILR. And this will look good for the guys. Obviously they want to keep him on, and that is pretty good going. I think he's raced a few leagues before though, so he's known to be a very good racer. He has practiced with the ILR guys this week, so they know roughly what the strategy is going to be. And yeah,
steerage went absolutely balls to the wall through the Degner one in that corner. I don't think he lifted at all, and he gained about 4 tenths on Hamilton, but he is going to have a real run at him down this next straight. I just want to see how much, because even when he's around 4 tenths behind at the exit, he doesn't seem to really make a dent in Hamilton's gap.
Yeah, as they're closing up the triangle now, they're going to cross pretty much potentially now, as steerage manages the DRS quite nicely actually, but I think still not enough to get. Oh, They're side by side, just going
No,
into
it's
turn
not
one.
near enough.
No, it's not going to be enough. Hamilton, nice defending from Hamilton. And Hamilton retains P1. And I do see a bit of debris still not cleared from sector 1.
I think it's just off track. They're not going to really worry about it too much. I mean, it is way on the infield, so
yeah,
if
that's probably
you
why.
go off that far, if you go off that far on the infield, you will probably hit the wall anyway. So there's not much point clearing up that debris.
Yeah, that's probably why, because obviously off track is not going to big up that huge of a difference. But Steerage just found a little bit more speed in that corner. I won't be surprised if Steerage is going to challenge, but I'm really impressed with how Hamilton and Steerage are managing their tyres right now. And it's showing because obviously the gap right behind it's closing. Well, not closing, decreasing between the other guys. So it is they're going through the uphill battle now as Hamilton is showing how good he is with a straight line. He's in the Red Bull though. You would expect the Mercedes engine to have be better straight line speed, but they have different setup, of course. Just past 130R, going through the Casio triangle.
Are they going to pit at the same time?
I won't be.
No, they're going to carry on going.
I
would have thought if they were to pit, they would have pit this lap, but if they do pit at the same time, there most likely won't be any changes in position. Still getting a bit close this time, still not able to pass him.
No.
So I think if Hamilton pits this lap, Steerage's best chance is going to be to try and yellows. I think it might be Blazing Slender have a bit of a half spin. We've done
a bit
that.
of a moment, yeah.
Steerage's best chance is for him to go one lap longer and try and get ahead of Hamilton, because Hamilton will be on cold mediums.
Yeah, because I think obviously they won't go on the super softs unless they can manage 5 laps on it. So I think that's how long it lasted last night, 5 or 6 laps, and then they were doing a 2-stop and stuff like that, and it just got a bit of chaos from then. Arnold, Jason is in the pits. He's what tyres has he gone on? Let me just check. He's gone for mediums.
Mediums.
Yeah. And so is Zanardi's still on mediums, obviously, since the start of the race. So he's going to be on the track for quite a while. Hamilton and Steerage are going off track a little bit, so it could be a perfect time to pit now, but it just depends what the other guy is doing. Steerage was a little bit off from his last lap, but he's getting a little bit more time, so yeah, he is struggling a bit more on his tyres, Steerage and Hamilton. So Steerage is probably going to pit now.
No, they're still going.
They're still going. Oh my word!
At the moment, they're actually going to do near enough the same amount of time on the softs and they are mediums, which is interesting. I think if they go one lap longer, they may as well just stay out and put another set of supers on.
How long do supers last in Japan? Do you know?
I would have thought, well, if they've made these last that long and they're still going this fast, 10, 11 laps?
Well, to be honest, they are the best drivers in the league. They can make tyres go longer than the predicted, to be honest, and they are quite fast as all. We got Dumb Thunder, they just come out of the pits, and so it's Dark Phoenix. They're going on a set of mediums, which is obviously, yeah, it looks like they're probably going for a soft to super soft strategy by the looks of things, in the way they're going.
Well, so whoever's going to break first, because I'm going to see their sector times at the end, see how far they are down on their personal best. Their personal best they probably would have set on lap 2.
Well, I'll
because
follow
that's
Steerage
the fastest
and see how often.
I'll follow Hamilton.
So just finishing sector 2 in
end
a
of
minute.
this straight.
He's
0.5 down, so he's still very close.
He's 0.6 down Steerage, so they're
still
close.
really close.
They're close.
I would have thought they would have been slower, and by the end of the lap, they are how far down? Up to 133. They're only 4/10 down. So Hamilton actually, that was his fastest third sector of the race. I went on board with him then.
Yeah, that was very good third sector from Hamilton, the APS legend, I must say. And fastest lap so far. Let me just check quickly. It was.
I think it's Steerage.
Yep, it is Steerage with a 1:31.8. fastest lap with Hamilton at 1:31.9, 9.6. So the only two on the 1:31 lap time wise. Everyone else was fastest laps were on the 1:32s, 1:33s. So yeah, pretty intense, I must say. Between it is going to go to the end. It's going to go down to the wire, to be honest.
I think if they get to lap 17, they may as well put another set of super softs on, because I can't see them putting on another set of mediums now. They would have already pitted if they wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Let me just look at everyone else. Everyone else on set of mediums or pitted once. Let me see. Stops. Only the top 4 haven't stopped yet.
I have got a message from
and
someone
their tyres
Sorry,
are all around 1-2 laps old.
So, I have got a message from, obviously, unfortunately, one of the drivers who could not race tonight, but he's still on the chat, Barry. He's got an injured knee. Get better soon, mate. But he's still in the chat supporting the TS. That is good. He said that Steerage's plan is to do softer super, and he told him earlier in the week. So we were right on that strategy. So yeah, Steerage is definitely doing a soft to super soft. Maybe Hamilton's doing the same thing. You never know. So looks like he is, because he wants to follow Steerage.
Whoever's going to pit first is going to be much faster for the lap, because the super soft don't take long to heat up at all. And then you have the other person will be on a lap older set of super soft, so it'll be a minor advantage, but it's still an advantage.
Just a tad of an advantage then, I must say, as Zanardi's going on to the pits. So Zanardi's mediums lasted less time than Steerage and Hamilton's softs. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can see Hamilton and Steerage short shifting like crazy out of the low speed corners, as to not get any wheel spin and have a bit of a.
They're trying to save their tyres. That's what they're doing.
And so I would have thought they would have pit in 2 laps time after this.
But you never know, they might surprise us. They might surprise us and get like the softs.
Yellows.
Yellows. Oh no, it's gone now. It's gone now.
I think that might have been Leper, because he is going quite slowly out of the Casino try. Is it Casio or Casino? I can't remember.
Let me just get the track map up, and I will get a
I was
bit
going
more
to say,
information.
I thought Casio was a calculator.
I don't know what it's called, but someone did send me a track map last night, because it is the Casio triangle.
Right, so it is named after a calculator. I'll keep that in mind.
Last time I used a calculator was at uni when I was doing a maths exam, and we had to use it. And we had to have one of those stickers to prove that it's actually an official calculator and it's not a cheating one.
Oh, Unity.
Fastest lap. He's doing quite well, actually. I'm just seeing when he pitted. He still on. I'm just checking the tyres. He pitted 3 laps ago on the same medium, so he's going to go to the end. Dunthunder's on the same amount of tyres as well, but Unity is just finding a little bit more grip than Dunthunder. Meanwhile, Ados probably going to be another person to go on the soft to super soft strategy, as he's been on these softs for 15 laps as well. So bold strategy for the top 3, but I think I'm predicting it's not going to be much change between the top 3.
I think Unity Gilbert, unless he makes a mistake, he will stay in P3, because he's quite a way ahead of Ados, and he's quite a way behind Steerage.
Yeah.
Yellow sector 3 again.
And Hamilton's in, so they're not pitting at the same time. So I wonder how.
Right, so is it?
Yep, it's
Hamilton's going to have to go. Well, Steerage is going. This is going to be a make or break lap for Steerage, and because he's going to have to jump Hamilton on an overcut, which is extremely difficult to do, much more difficult than an undercut, because you are on much older tyres and he's on a harder compound. So chance of him jumping Hamilton is small.
It is quite rare, to be honest, but you never know. Steerage could.
See a pace difference already.
One of these two could make a mistake. Yeah, 20 seconds. Wow. Steerage is gonna. Is he gonna get the cut? Is he gonna get the cut that he needs? It's gonna be tight.
I think Steerage will probably be at least a couple of seconds behind after this lap. I'm expecting a purple sector 2 and 3 from Hamilton at the moment.
Yeah, so
Bernardi sets the fastest lap.
You can tell the super softs are the tires to be on at the moment for those. And ADOS has just appeared as well, so I wonder how that's going to work in terms of ADOS's tyre wear. He's going to try and close Dark Phoenix, but Dark Phoenix has been on the mediums for quite a long time as well, so it's going to be quite even in terms of that aspect. Yeah, Hamilton's gaining more time, so Hamilton is more than likely going to gain the lead, so a good strategy on that part, but Steerage didn't know when Hamilton was going to pit and vice versa, so it is in terms of when the tyres are going to run out, and I think it looks like Hamilton made the better jump. Oh, Steerage is in the pits. So
yeah, so that's just pure reaction to Hamilton. I don't think
he's going to do it. Hamilton's going to cross the start.
There's Hamilton in the background.
It's going to be close, I think. Howard Steerage has gone out the pits.
He's going to be miles ahead of him.
Yeah, he's going to be miles ahead of Steerage. Yeah, about 3 seconds.
3.5 seconds.
So he's got to find that amount to catch up to Hamilton to see if he's going to make it to the end and overtake. So I think, Jack, this championship battle is going to last a lot longer than we thought, which is a good thing. We like deciders, but
I mean, Steerage didn't really have a choice in that. I mean, if he pitted at the same time, they would have
be in the same position.
Stayed in the same position, and at least if with the overcut there was a chance he could have made the overtake. So he may as well have just stayed out, but it's not worked out at all well. But he hasn't really lost anything out of it. He just has more to gain up.
I think it's just the gap as well. I think that's probably lost a bit of time for him, and that's probably why. Dark Phoenix getting another penalty. I think we've only seen penalties from the back lot of the field. I think everyone else has kept it clean. I think, which is quite good. If you're with it at the front, it is quite hard to get penalties, to be honest, around Japan if you're quite fast. So, which means it can be pretty much decided on track, which is quite nice. We don't want it to be decided on penalties. Hamilton fastest lap. 130.5.
By about a second, that is. What a lap.
Steerage, unfortunately, did not beat Hamilton's time, but I think he has improved, though.
He did come out the pits on that lap, so I'm not expecting him to beat the...
Yeah. So Steerage might have another chance in the next couple of laps to beat him. He's got clearer air.
He is catching Hamilton, though.
He is. He's now on 3:10.
Very slowly, but he is catching.
But, to be honest, it could affect him. It could affect Hamilton. Hamilton's tyres might wear out quickly than Steerage's. So I won't be surprised if Steerage catches up.
We did see at the beginning, catching up is one thing, overtaking is completely another. Nothing proved that more than at the beginning. So I'm pretty sure Steerage was quite a bit faster than Hamilton at the beginning, but because Hamilton had much better straight line speed, and there's not really any other places to overtake other than 130R, the hairpin, and turn 1.
Yeah.
And the chicane, obviously. There's only really 4 overtaking opportunities, and they're all at the end of straights. So he hasn't got many opportunities to overtake anyway.
Steerage is closing. He found a second. That lap. He's going to get past his lap.
I have a feeling, though, Hamilton might have made a couple of mistakes in that, because I heard his engine revving quite lowly at some of the points in that lap. I'm expecting Steerage, and I still heard it. So Steerage gets past lap 130.1.
Right. Get in there. I'm good at predictions, and it just goes to show. Look at the lead gap between them and third, 15.4. So, to be honest, these two are managing their tyres right, and it's going to close up quite nicely between the pair of them. You've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't know, it maybe might be... I
think it might have been Leper. I just saw a bit of gravel go up and Leper's just gone through Degda 2.
Yeah, I think it was probably, to be honest, the end of sector 1 by the looks of things. From what it was. So... Pretty intense, I must say. to get that final point, but I think he's quite comfortable at the moment to get that final point. His Slender's 23 seconds down on Leper.
I think another thing that isn't going to help steerage, that I've just noticed as well as Hamilton's highest straight line speed, he also seems to be a lot later on the brakes as well. So
steerage has gone in the gravel a little bit.
Very difficult.
It's difficult.
He's going to have to get an absolute run on Hamilton to overtake, even though he is gaining by a lot at the moment.
I think it may be the brake bias, that you may have a different brake bias, I think, because brake bias, I know, can make a lot of difference in terms of setup, because if you have a lower or higher brake bias than you might have wanted, then it could cost you. And you might have to brake a bit earlier or a bit later, and he is catching though, so it just... Whose tyres are going to run out first towards the end? But steerage, I think, can possibly try and catch up. It's not going to make a difference in the championship, but it is going to allow Hamilton to close that gap to around about 49, 48 points in the championship. Hamilton was only 1/10 down on his best, Sector 1 best, so I think he's managing it quite well. I think Leopard's had it at the moment. No, it's Blazing Slender.
Oh, yeah.
It is Blazing
grass.
In around the S section, I think I did see a Toro Rosso. No, it wasn't a Toro Rosso. I think I saw someone behind Blazing Slender who's about to lap him, I think. So
yeah, you see the evidence of dirty air and Hamilton's straight line speed now, because he was gaining by about, what, 8/10 the lap before? And now he's been about 8/10 behind for the whole lap, and he hasn't been able to get closer. Oh, wow, that was late.
It was a bit late, to be honest, between. That's given, I think...
Oh, that's a half.
Leper getting a take. Oh, that probably didn't help steerage in terms of people getting out of the way.
You might have had a bit of a moment in the Montoya corner.
Yeah, we like to give corners in ILR, so it is a Montoya corner, I must say. And it is a tight S section to get right between these two. I think the other close battle on the moment on track is between Dark Phoenix and ADOS. But I think ADOS is already pulling away from Dark Phoenix due to the fact he's on softer tyres. So that's probably going to stay as it is for now. But we have got 5 laps to go of this really intense Japanese Grand Prix. It has been good so far.
I mean, there's not really any other battles to the field, so this is...
Oh, Dark Phoenix has had a slide. He's had a very tricky...
that's a new front wing. He's going to have to get away of McLaren.
I think it was his our right half, well, his left, our right half of the front wing gone. His right hand, our left hand is still intact. But that was a nasty shot from Dark Phoenix, I must say. So that's pretty much a good point position gone for him. That's given ADOS a little bit of a breathing space so he can conserve his tyres a lot more. So he must be giving a sigh of relief.
Yeah, even though steerage has got... Hamilton's got 5 laps to defend, and I can think of 4 overtaking opportunities. So even though this is a hard track to overtake, Hamilton's got a tall order. I mean, he's got to defend from steerage, a good 20 times over the next 5 laps.
He's got to defend for his life, I must say, if he must do that, because Hamilton's just gone a bit in the gravel, on the grass. So, but again, he's falling away on the straight. So it is a tough call, but I'm going to predict it right there and there. I think Hamilton's going to take the win. I think he's been good at defending so far this race. And he's managed to hold on to pole. Oh, steerage, that was a big slide.
Right, that's it. That's commentator's curse, but commentator's curse in the sense commentator was right.
Yeah. I felt quite bad for Steerage now because I probably jinxed him in a bad way. The start fee's gone into the pits, so pretty much that's race over. Well, P1 over for Steerage. But then I think Hamilton could ease the pressure off slightly. It was quite sad that we didn't see a race battle to the end, but it just goes to show anything can happen in racing. And that's what happened with Steerage. He lost it a little bit there. This boom, so and that's what costed him.
I think Steerage has got a lot of smuck on his tyres because he's 10 seconds behind Hamilton, almost 11.
Wow.
Yeah, and I can't see any battles forming at all. I think that's
it.
Race order for the finish, unless somebody has an accident.
Shall we? I think whilst we're at it, shall we check? I don't think Hamilton or Steerage have got a penalty. I don't think either of the top 4 have got penalties. I
think a couple of people haven't even had a warning yet.
I think the bottom 3 I know have penalties. Dark Phoenix, Leopard and Slender. I think everybody else, maybe Tsunami as well, but apart from that, I think everyone else is driving quite clean and avoiding penalties. So GG. They must have learned something and they must have practiced quite you can tell they practice well if they don't get any penalties. So and I've already see a bit of dirty air already forming. And yeah, Steerage is already losing time to Hamilton by quite a lot. But still comfortably
3
in
laps
second
left.
Though. Yeah, 3 laps to go. And already Hamilton's turned down
Hamilton
the peg.
is taking it very easy right now.
Yeah, I can tell because his straight line speeding sets in the start-finish straight was a bit slower, but he just wants to make sure his tyres get to the end. So he saw Steerage go right behind, fall off behind him. So he was just like, I'll just take it easy for the last couple of laps, and that's what he's doing. And he's managing it quite well. So props to him. As you did say there wasn't going to be a battle, Jack. There is a battle forming between Jason Zanardi and Ados Gamer. This is going to be interesting. As Zanardi's around 5/10 behind Ados, so Ados is struggling to get those tyres up to temperature.
Even though I think it says he's on softs on my screen, is on his car. Oh no, wait, he is on super softs. He's done the same strategy as Steerage and Hamilton, but I think he's overheated them. I don't think he's managed it as well. It's just Zanardi has just caught right up to the back of him.
Ados is catching up to. Oh no, there was Slender. I thought it was Dumbunder for a minute there. Oh, and Zanardi's going to try and make a move. Slender held Zanardi, I think, so that didn't help him in the slightest, but they're probably going to get another opportunity soon. Not here, surely. Oh no, they didn't. That's all right.
Nah.
Ados getting.
We don't want to Vettel on the Verstappen moment.
No.
Wow, very close to the back end.
Very close there. Either someone broke too early or someone broke a little bit too late there. So,
I think Zanardi getting supercharged ward. Can he make a last lap overtake as well?
Maybe. I think he can, you know. He's had a very good race so far. He's very clean, kept it together, stayed out of trouble. I think at the moment he could be one of our contenders for driver of the day. Because
yeah, he's very close. He's past Ados. Ados can't do anything about that.
I'm sorry about if you watch on the stream. That camera didn't. That camera, I was trying to get the overtake, but the camera just caught the wheel of Zanardi there and not really much the battle. So do apologise about that, stupid game. But to be honest, that's one of the cameras I think they should get rid of in the next game because it's absolutely ridiculous. It is hard to find these types of battles. And yeah, Zanardi's struggling. Ados is struggling, and Ollie's slowing down a little bit. Blazing Centre slowing down as well. Hamilton is about to start the final lap of this Grand Prix. He's pretty much led from start to finish.
You can tell Steerage has dropped off because, I mean, I think Leopard Affinity is actually about to overtake him.
Wow. No, actually, no, I mean like, Leper's 30 seconds down the road. So.
What? No, as in like, he's about to unlap himself on steerage.
Ah, so maybe steerage is like Ados. He is dropping a little bit more to Hamilton. Oh no, Zanardi!
That's not going to help Zanardi.
No! He was going to get the driver of the day, but I think he just got his first penalty, Jack. I think another commentator's
Ados has a couple as well, so it's not all over for him yet.
Another commentator's curse. I'm not doing well with commentator's curse, I must say, in this race, I must say, but you never know. But anyway, I think the order's not going to change. Dark Phoenix is still behind Titan though. Titan getting a little bit of a lock up towards the Casio Triangle. Yes, it is called the Casio Triangle. And I think...
Named off the calculator.
Lol. But anyway, the man at the moment is Hamilton as he's going towards the last couple of corners now.
Oh!
Slender getting a penalty.
Jason and Ados very close together.
Oh, Dark Phoenix and Titan, they're close as well. Jason,
side
by side. Hamilton takes the win, but we've still got a battle to follow right now. And Ados gets P6, but Jason has more grip than Ados, so this can go to the end, I think. And Unity is about to cross the line. He gets his first podium in ILR. That is pretty good going. For his first ever race, so well done to Unity.
Side by side, it's 130R. It's could end in tears.
Oh, Ados!
Wide.
That was close.
Oh,
I think Jason broke a little bit too late there.
Yeah.
And Zanardi, oh, he got an unserved stop go, so Zanardi's going to drop down. No, he's not.
As you know, he kept P5 in the end.
He kept P5, Ados keeps P6 and Jason P7. It must be Ados getting a few penalties, probably. He got the same, luckily.
Didn't realise how close Dark Phoenix and Titan Prime were.
Yeah, that's why I was following before the Jason and Ados battle. But they're the last to cross the line. Looks like Titan's going to hold on to P8 for now, because he hasn't got any penalties either. Yes. And banging wheels, the AI, that interesting. So, but that was an interesting last couple of laps, I must say. So Hamilton's win does mean that he closes the steerage in the championship. It's hotting up between these two. Steerage can't afford to make any mistakes now if he wants to spoil Hamilton's party. But there we go. I think we got 2 Red Bulls on the podium. So a Red Bull in P1 and a Red Bull in P3. So good job for the Red Bull boys. They'll be celebrating tonight. Steerage did say in the chat he did not well to DNF there. So anyway, we got Hamilton that takes the win with Steerage in P2, Unity in P3, Dumb Thunder in P4, Zanardi 5th, Ados 6th, Jason 7th, Titan Prime in 8th, Dark Phoenix in 9th, Leper rounds up your top 10 with Blazing Slender, your last finisher, and pretty much the top 5 downwards getting penalties. So without that stop go, I think Zanardi would have been staying where he is. As the non-finished today are Atlantis, JJ Box, Andrew, and AJH. And I think we are about to get these guys onto podium interviews pretty soon. I'll need to find Unity though, because I don't have him on Xbox. But I think you have the other 2, don't you? So you can add them in, can you, Jack?
Alright. Yeah, I need to do something for a couple of minutes, but I should be back by the time you finish. So I can say anything I need to.
That is fine. That is absolutely fine.
Oh, Jason's already on FIFA. He's gone.
He's gone. So, oh no, I've chosen. I chose the right background me, is it? There we go. So I am just going to add Unity as a friend now. So I can add him at some point. We already got our race winner in the chat. Anyway, Hamilton, are you there? Or Matt?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your win again. You won, I think it's your second win in a row. It looks a very strong track from you pretty much from the start. Was that your expectations all along going into this race?
I knew it was going to be tough battling steerage because it basically always is every single race, but we were on the same strategies, so I knew we were going to be battling constantly. But I wasn't really expecting the win because steerage is very strong around here. It's not the best track for me, but I'm happy I got the win.
And when you saw steerage lose it a few laps before the end, I saw you did take the hammer off a little bit. Did you know then that the race win was going to go to you?
Yeah, and my tyres were on like 60% and they were on like 104 degrees, so I was just like, you know what, I need to just take this like really carefully because I didn't want to crash out.
Yeah, which I think it is quite hard to get your super softs to the end there. I guess I knew steerage's plan all along was to do softer supers. Was that your plan all along as well?
Yeah, we've been doing practice together for this race, and we basically knew what each of the strategies were, and yeah, we knew that we were going to go softs to supers.
Yes, so that must have worked quite well as you're pulling away from the rest of the field as well. Now, and I think we've got four rounds left now of this championship. I think you closed up for quite a few points now. Is there any slight chance that you're still gonna catch up and possibly take him the championship to the final round?
Well, that's obviously my aim, to keep on like gaining some points on him. It's now a 51 point gap before races to go, so basically I need him to DNF 1 or 2 so I can get really close to him, because if I just keep on winning and he comes second, there's no chance of me winning.
You never know. We have seen surprises, and well done, you win again. And steerage P2 there, you were looking very feisty between you and Hamilton towards the end, but that you had that slight mistake there. Tell us what happened and what were your expectations?
Yeah, difficult race for myself. Obviously, it was a good battle pretty much for the entire race. Yeah, I just didn't want to overcommit to the overtake because, as you know, it's quite close in terms of race pace, and also there's a championship to think about. So I'm maybe a little more cautious than I would be.
Yeah.
But then again, like I say, it's a title run-in, so that's probably inevitable. And yeah, I guess just going on to the supers. Yeah, just trying to stay with him as much as I could, just to keep him under pressure. But yeah, I just got a bit of a moment through Spoon. Maybe dirty air, maybe a bit of driver error myself, maybe pushing a little bit too much, trying to get that DRS, and maybe think about setting up a move with a couple of laps to go. But it happens, and fortunately for me, I was able to kind of negate any damage, kind of caught it quite early, even though it was a big moment. So I didn't end up on the opposite wall, which is good. So second is okay, and yeah, I've just got to keep finishing races, and hopefully that'll be enough to win the championship, because Hamilton's going to push me all the way. So congrats to him, because he drove faultless. So it's his race today, not mine.
Yes, well done to Hamilton. And for both of you, I've got a question for both of you actually. Did you find it difficult to get those softs to around about lap 15, 16 before you had to pit, or was it just you had to manage it quite well? Was it hard?
Well, I don't know about steerage because of dirty air and the tyre wear's a bit harsher on him, but with like the clear air in front of me, I just kept it in lean in sector 1, kept it smooth, and it was quite easy, to be honest. It got to like lap 16 where I was basically on like 60% tyre wear, I believe, So it wasn't even that bad, but I went for the undercut on steerage, and then the super softs were fine.
Steerage, what about you?
Yeah, obviously, like Hamilton said, it's a bit different following another car, but yeah, it wasn't too bad, because obviously we had the virtual safety car, which does help a lot in terms of not just outright wear, but in terms of tyre temperatures. You can just cool them down a bit more, and then when you restart, obviously they go, they're not as difficult to manage, so that kind of helped us a little bit. Yeah, for me, obviously the supers was more tricky. As soon as the rears get anywhere near slightly hot, it's very difficult. It probably didn't help my moment, so, but I was always planning to do it, so it worked out first and second for both of us, so I guess it was the right call.
Yeah, it was the right call. And we were just about to end the stream, but we do have our P3 man in the party. Unity, that I believe, Stephen, it was your first race, and you got a podium. Was that what you were expecting going to your first race? That is astonishing performance from you tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I was expecting sort of top 5. I had a rough idea where I was at in terms of like managing tyre wear. The rain more or less killed my attack for the start of the race, because I wasn't quite sure what to do on setup. So I gambled with like an in-between and didn't really nail the lap in qualifying, so I couldn't get onto terms with the guys in front, but I managed the gap to 4th quite well, so I was quite impressed.
Because the battles were going left, right and centre behind you, but you were comfortably running your own race. I didn't catch much of you because you were just quite comfortably in a podium pretty much for the whole race. Was it hard managing your tyres, do you think, towards the end there? Because you were on the tyres you were in for quite a long time.
To be fair, because I was out in my open air, there was no dirty air affecting me, and I wasn't going to catch the guys in front, so it was more or less just managing, keeping everything cool, and just trying to hit your marks every single lap, keeping it smooth, and just simple really.
And now going to the next race in Kota for you, because you are going to be probably a force to be reckoned with, I must say. I think it's more about experience for you now, isn't it, going into the final few rounds? Are you going to try and get a podium again?
That would be ideal. I'm just going to take it one race at a time at the moment. Japan's not really one of my stronger tracks, to be honest. I'm not very familiar with it. I've only been playing F1 games competitively for like a season.
Wow.
And it's just time. I'm like happy to be competing, and I don't know, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
And we're looking forward to seeing you next week, and congratulations to the top 3 as well for your good results. And for those of you that are obviously you weren't, some of you might not be tuning into ILR1, but the title has been decided in ILR1 with Veloce Prix taking the title. So well, congrats to him if you're watching this back, by the way. Well done to him for taking that title. And I wonder how the title's going to fare for ILR3 in the next couple of weeks. It should be a good spicy battle between the top 2. Make sure you join us then. And obviously we've got the PS4 leagues on Sundays. Make sure you watch those as well. But until then, guys, see you next week. Good night.